What is going on, guys? It is Stab, and today we are back for week number 2, the game, the battle, the important part of the Stab League each week. We're taking Sam, as we mentioned, our team builder, and to your right on the screen, you will be able to see not only the team we are bringing this week, but the team we expect Sam to bring as well. Now, before we go ahead and do a quick rundown before we get into the actual game, if you have not checked out the team builder that I made for this week, it was uploaded a few days ago, maybe yesterday. Depends on when I get this uploaded. But anyway, there is a full team builder dedicated to this. You can learn what I'm bringing and why I'm bringing it. That link can be found in the description, as well as the entire playlist for all the Stab League action for this season. But if you do not have time to take care of to go and watch the whole thing, just a quick rundown of what we are bringing. We are bringing our, let's see, what are we bringing? I gotta make sure I had the right team. Team that we are bringing, team that we are bringing, team that we are bringing. We are bringing, wait for it, here it is. Alright, we have our Sylphus Emerald, our Life Orb, Sandrush Excadrill, our support, Sand Support, Choppleberry Tyranitar, our Mega Lopunny with 3 attacks and Baton Pass, our Expert Belker Ninja, and then our Choice Scarf Crocodile. So it should be a pretty effective team as far as what we consider to be Sam's best lineup against us. We are predicting a team of Mew, Infernape, Nidoqueen, Terrakion, Kyurem, and Mega Gyarados. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the match and see if we predicted the team correctly and hopefully win. I'll be right back. Alright, guys, welcome to the battlefield. As you see in front of you, we do have Sam's team revealed, and we did a pretty good job of predicting what she would bring as far as the Pokemon. We don't know any of the sets yet, but we do know that we predicted 5 out of 6 correctly. She does have Zapdos or Nidoqueen, which is pretty good for us, actually, because we have more ways to deal with that than we do with Nidoqueen. So what I actually decided to do in the first turn was, because there is no Nidoqueen, we don't really have any priority need to lead off with the Zumaro right away, so I decided to lead off my Lopunny and just go ahead and get up my Fake Out. Again, I'm not scared of that Mew because she usually brings offensive Mew, number 1, and number 2, we can just get our Fake Out, and we have plenty of switch-ins from Mew, so it's not too big a deal. Without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into it, and per usual, we will be pausing to explain some of our plays periodically through the battle. Alright, so as I stated, we see Brad Pitt there, the Mew. Again, I'm not really worried. We do get a Fake Out for basically free. So we are going to Fake Out and actually calc this damage, and she is not fully defensive. She could be max HP, but she's not fully defensive. She is going to flinch, of course. And then here, we do have Baton Pass, but I couldn't run the risk of this being Scarf Mew and randomly clicking Psychic and killing us turn 1. So what I'm going to decide to do is expect her to, instead of trying to get up rocks or go for the Will-O-Wisp, just to go straight up to the Psychic and attack me. As you see, her team, Lopunny, puts in a massive threat, so she needs to get rid of this as soon as possible. So I'm just going to make the safe play out into Indominus, and sure enough, she actually is going to go straight for the Psychic. I do get up my Sand right away, so that's pretty nice as well. She is going to take a little bit of chip damage from that as well. She does go for the Psychic. Of course, I'm going to be immune, being a Dark type. I could have gone for the Crunch here, but I knew she was more than likely going to switch out to Gyarados, so we could take this opportunity to get our rocks up for free. That was one of the things I was worried about in the planning stage, just because she did have 2 fighting types to pressure my Tyranitar, and I might not be able to get up rocks, but because she let off with Mew, we can just get up rocks on the switch. So rocks are there pretty much to stay unless she's defog Zapdos or defog Mew, but I can pressure those pretty easily to prevent them from getting up hazards. I am going to go straight out to a Azumarill because there's not a whole lot the Gyarados can do to damage me a lot, and even if she Dragon Dances up here, the attacks she could have are not going to do very much damage, just because I do have a lot of HP investment. And as you see there, she misses Hydro Pump. It's always unfortunate when you miss a move, but I'm a Soul Vest. I resist that. There's no way that would do a lot of damage regardless of what she ends up being. And as you're going to see here, Gyarados is going to take a little bit of Sand damage, as I take some as well. But then it does not matter if she actually tries to outrage a Fairy type. So doesn't really do anything, and I'm just going to thankfully hit my Play Rough, and Azumarill picks up its first kill of the season on my Gyarados, easily smacking it to the ground with a Play Rough right there. Big threat out of the way. If she set up, she could have blown through my team if I somehow lost my Lopunny. So Threats gone is always a good thing. She makes a switch out of the Zapdos. She takes some nice rocks damage. I'm not going to stay in here, and I do expect her just to try and go for an electric attack straight away. So pretty safe switch into my Excadrill here just because sand is up and I can attack this thing pretty easily. She actually does go for Thunder. Now, it was kind of surprising that, not that she went for the electric move on the Azumarill attacking what's in front of her, but the fact that she actually hit Thunder and Sand. So pretty nice. Sandstorm actually goes away here, and that'll influence my play in a second. Here, I actually make a really bad misplay that if Samm had capitalized on it, she could have won the game right here. And you're going to see, I go for the Rock Slide, but I switch it to the Kyurem, so you're thinking, fine, that could be fine. But what could have been really bad is if I had gone for the Rock Slide and she had switched into a Scarf Terrakion here, because I would have had to sack my Excadrill and then hopefully hope that Tyranitar could take it out at one hit after rocks, but I don't think it was possible, and I potentially could have sacked more mods as well, but Azumarill actually would have been a better switch in just to force her out. But still, losing Excadrill, my main way to deal with the Zapdos, is not a very good play on my part, and again, if Samm had chosen to capitalize on that, she very well could have, but she thankfully makes a very, very bad play and switches out to Kyurem. Kyurem being an ice type is not going to appreciate this rock slide. It's on a balloon, which is weird, but it's there. So Matt Damon takes a bunch of rocks to the dome and almost dies. So after I damage that Kyurem, I don't want to take an ice beam or like a focus blast for no reason, but and because. Well, I didn't want to take a focus blast or an ice beam for no reason, and because the sand had gone away, I knew I couldn't outspeed it. I actually decided to pull a switch in my Tyranitar. Now, in the prep video, I explained that Specs can knock me out with a Focus Blast pretty easily. But number one, I don't think she's going to go for Focus Blast. I think she would go for Ice Beam. Regardless, just in case I wanted to go out to something like my Crocodile. But knowing that she's not Specs, I know I can live any hit. And as we saw a balloon. So she is confirmed not Specs. She actually goes for the Rest here, which was really, really weird. Not weird that she had Rest, of course, because Rest Cure can be a thing. But as you're going to see right here, so she sleeps and becomes healthy. Normal Rest shenanigans, takes a little bit of sand damage. What's weird is that she doesn't actually end up having Sleep Talk. So this is basically a kill fodder right here. I'm going to go for the Stone Edge. Tyranitar doesn't need any glasses. He's got 20 vision, and we do a very good amount of damage with the Stone Edge here. Almost knocks it out. Now here, I'm going to make a better play than Graham did against Samm in week 1. I'm actually going to go for the Earthquake because that covers the potential for her to switch into a Terrakion predicting a Crunch. And I don't need to go for the Stone Edge again in case I miss and waste the turn that way. But Tyranitar picks up a kill on the Kyurem, and that's another big threat out of the way. Now, she goes into Brad Pitt the Mew, and somehow decided that because Psychic didn't work the first time, we should go for it again. So again, immune to Psychic being a Dark type, and I'm just gonna fire off a Crunch and kill this thing. So Mew's out of the way. Tyranitar has 2 kills, and she brings in Fernape, which probably should have brought this in first. But I can pretty much make a pretty safe play out to my Azumarill. I still get to take a close combat from this, plus a close combat from the Terrakion. And as you can see here, it's special in Fernape with Flamethrower. So not only do I resist that being a water type, but I also have an Assault Vest, so that does negligible damage. Sand goes away, so I don't have to worry about residual damage on my own Azumarill. And she actually pulls that switch out into Zapdos again. This is great because, as you're going to see, not only is it not very strong because it has a Citrus Berry, but I can fire for Waterfall and put it well in range of a Aqua Jet on the next turn. So Zapdos is gone. She's lost all her checks to Azumarill, and pretty much at this point, Azumarill is just going to sweep through the team because she goes out to her Terrakion. Even though this is faster, I can take a close combat, no problem. A Stone Edge crit may have knocked me out at this range because it did like 63 minimum. She was adamant, but she goes for close combat, gets the drop, and after the drop, I'm easily going to knock this thing out with the Waterfall. And then her last is Infernape. I have a Scarf Crocodile with Earthquake in the back, so even if for some reason she's able to live an adamant Aqua Jet after a rock switch in, I can still kill it that way, but thankfully Azumarill just comes through, picks up its 4th kill of the game, and that is going to be another 6-0, 16 turns this time, but a nice shutout. Back-to-back shutouts, we are now standing at 2-0 at plus 12, the best possible position we can be in after 2 weeks. So, if If you guys enjoyed the battle, go ahead and leave a like. Go ahead and leave a comment as to how you think we did, and subscribe if you're not. Next week in week 3, we begin the season as the junk runs. Those warm-up games against Alyssa and Samm were fun, but it is time to test ourselves against Graham. He is greatly improving and should be a very massive threat to us this season based on the fact that his roster contains 2 of the best wall breakers in the league, and we should have a pretty tough time prepping for that. Of course, we're going to try our best, but yeah, guys, I'm Stab, and I am out.